Greetings, my fellow brothers and sisters. I want to take this time to give you my testimony, to let you know a little bit about me as a person. I'm going to go back when I was a child. I never really felt that I belonged here on earth. I really never felt the love that a lot of people had in the family that a lot of people had. I didn't have that, and I was always looking to be accepted. I wanted to be accepted, and that's very important to a young person that they feel accepted. I was never good at sports. I was never good at school. I wasn't a large, heavy set guy, so I was easy. It seemed like to be picked on and the bullies to pick on me, and so at a very young age I wanted to be accepted, and I found that the only ones that would accept me was people that were doing bad. At a very young age I started running with people that drank, and as I began to drink, drinking, whenever you start out, a lot of people may be able to drink, and that's, I don't know, that's their metabolism or the way their body is made. But I believe at a very young age I became addicted to alcohol. And through school, I didn't finish school. There were a lot of things that happened due to alcohol and due to the circumstances of alcohol. And I went in the military when I was 18 and got out when I was 21. And while I was in the military, it was very easy to obtain alcohol. It was very easy. And I did that, and I got out of the military and came to a place called Gary, Indiana, where there was a steel mills, where there was a lot of work. And I got a job in the steel mills and worked, and all the time I was working, and all the time that I in my life that I can remember to a certain point was, it seemed like all I wanted to do was drink. I was a good worker, don't get me wrong, but I drank a lot, and whenever you drink a lot, that has a lot of effects on you and how your body is, and the mentality, and it takes an effect. And I married a young lady, and we had 3 children, beautiful children, but I was still drinking. And the more I drank, the deeper I got into alcoholism, and I got to where I was a slave, actually, to alcoholism. My family didn't matter. My children didn't matter. Nothing mattered to me except alcohol. And so the marriage didn't last. The marriage lasted about 6 years, and she got rid of me, which I would have got rid of me a long time before she got rid of me, but it lasted about 6 years, and I continued on with drinking. I would drink anything that I could, that had alcohol in it. I would drink aftershave lotion. I would drink anything that had alcohol in it. And I was very much addicted. Didn't want to say it, didn't want to admit it, but I was very much addicted. It was no longer fun. The fun run out. And it was nothing but pain. It was nothing but hurting people. It was nothing but I went to jail. I went to all the rehab places that they thought they could help me with. I even went once for 6 months. And when I came out after 6 months of not having alcohol, the first thing I did was end up getting in a bar and getting drunk. So that didn't, just being away from it didn't break that addiction. And I found another young lady that I wanted so much. I wanted to have a life. I didn't have a life. I was so devastated by what I'd lost. I was so devastated that by being addicted, when you become addicted, you become a slave. And it wasn't the thing that I wanted to do, it was the thing I had to do. I felt like I had something on my back. I just had craved alcohol. And so, like I said, I ended up in jail. I did some bad things, ended up in jail, and was sent away for 6 months to a rehab center. And like I said, when I got out, I was drunk again, and it continued on. And I finally realized that, you know what, I'm addicted, and I don't know, there's no way out. And I was sitting in a bar one night in the town that I live in now, and you know what I said I'm going to do? I said, life is not worth living. I have made such a mess out of life. I can't get out of this addiction. There's no way out for me. It's not fun. I didn't have anything. It robs you of everything. Addiction robs you. It's a thief. It looked good to begin with, but it was nothing but a thief. And so I was sitting at a bar, and I said, you know what? This has got to be the end of it. I'm just going to go commit suicide because I don't like myself. I don't like my life. I don't like what I've become. I don't like how I've hurt people. There's no future for me. There's nothing but torment. I was deeply in debt. I was, I was really bad. And I happened to think about one guy that works at where I worked, and he was a Christian guy, and I knew it, but he didn't go around beating you over the head with a Bible and everything. He just lived it in front of you. And he was a fireman, so I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call him and see if I can just talk to him. So it was about midnight, maybe 1 in the morning. I called him, and his name was Randall. And I said, Randall, I need to talk to you. And so he said, well, we'll do it in the morning. And I said, well, I know how an addicted person thinks. You know, they'll change their mind by morning. And I said, no, we're going to do it tonight. And so by the grace of God, I got through the gates at the mill I was working at. And I went in where he was at, and he had an office. And we walked into the office, and I admitted to him, I said, Randall, if this Jesus you're talking about is really real, and he's not like the Easter Bunny or not like Santa Claus, not like the Tooth Fairy and all of that, because you really don't know if he's real till you ask him in and experience him. So I knelt down and I said these words. I said, Jesus, if you're really real and you'll have me, because I didn't think he'd have me. I didn't have nothing to offer him. I didn't have anything to give him. I had a broken life. I didn't have nothing to give to him. But I said, if you'll take me, I'll give you what I have left. And all of a sudden, man, I felt something inside of me that I never felt before. I felt peace. I didn't know what it was. And so that night I left, and I didn't realize it. But when I asked Jesus into my life, the guy that prayed with me, he broke that spirit of alcoholism over me. I didn't know what he was doing. And I left a free man. And so what he did after that was he discipled me. And after he discipled me and made sure that I went to church, made sure that I read my Bible, made sure I followed through, because really the truth is, and I like to add this, at the age of 33, the doctors where I was at told me, you got 1 year maybe to live because you have no liver left. It's so damaged. And so I was the age of 33, and in a week or so, I'll be 82. So Jesus did a marvelous work in me, and I thank him for it. But he broke the power of addiction over me. And that's what I want to get across is Jesus come to set the captives free. I never knew it because nobody ever told me. All they ever told me was God's going to get you because you're a bad guy and you've got nothing but hell to look forward to. But Jesus came for people like me. He came for people that needed help. And if anybody ever needed help, it was me. And since then, it's like I said, it's been almost 50 years that I've served him. But the doctors gave me 1 year to live. But when Jesus came in, he broke that addiction off of me. And I just want to tell you right now, if you have any problem with addiction, Jesus is the answer. He doesn't help you to live with it. He frees you from it. And I thank him. God bless.